Alright, welcome back. We are doing the orientation for part 2 for unit 1852. Okay, first we're going to start over here with all of these buttons. There's a whole bunch of them. The good thing is they're all self-explanatory. Dining slide in. That is your slide room. Okay, so when you try to push the room in or out, it may not work. It's because you need to turn the engine on. As you can see, it will move. Alright. Same in the opposite direction. The light turns blue on the button and it will move. Alright. Same thing is going to happen for the awning, but make sure you have the engine off. Okay, so the awning is going to go out. It is unsupported, so basically it's kind of like this scissoring thing. It moves out, and once it's out, there's nothing supporting it down low. So if it gets windy, the rain starts to pick up, anything that could possibly damage it, make sure you put it away. Okay, because those things are really expensive and we don't want you to damage anything. The rest of it's all explanatory. Driver sealing. So those are the lights. It'll just flicker on, flicker off. Chassis lights, cargo lights, porch lights. Entry step. So the entry step is pretty interesting. The way it works is you hit the button, and when the door closes, the steps typically come in. But when this button is engaged, you shut the door and the steps will stay out. So that every time you open and close the door, the steps aren't back and forth waiting. You're not waiting for them to come in and out. They'll just stay out all the time. Now the only thing that will override that is the engine. Turn the ignition on and shut the door and the steps will retract. Okay. Also you have all lights. Just turns all the lights off and on. You also have 2 battery disconnect buttons over here. These battery disconnect buttons you want to leave in the up or on position, because if you don't, it'll kill all your 12-volt power and nothing will work. Over here you have more buttons. Front ceiling, rear ceiling, galley lights, vent lid up, down. So this is going to be up and it's going to do down. So if you hold it up, it's going to raise it, let go, hold it again, it'll lower it. Okay, and that's for the fan if you don't want the fan on. And then there's for the water pump. So the water pump is going to pull the water out of that fresh water tank and send it to all of your faucets if you aren't hooked up at a campsite. But if you are hooked up at a campsite and you turn that Anderson valve to the fixtures position, then you do not need to use your water pump. Okay, so let's move on to the front over here. Start over here on our left. There's our camera. It's got a little sound on it. So right now it's looking at what's behind us, to the left, to the right. So that way when you are driving you can see all angles, and then it'll default to the rear camera. If you'd like to change the mode, you go ahead and change the mode. It'll give you different camera positions. Okay. So from here you have your mirrors, left and right, just like in a car. You have your front blinds, your front shades, so these go up and down. And then on the sides, they're manual. Okay. So there's a night shade and a day shade. Auxiliary start. If for some reason your engine battery is dead, there's another set of batteries underneath the coach that can possibly give you a jump. All you got to do is hold this button and crank the engine at the same time. If your batteries that are under the coach are fully charged, then it will give you the jump. If it doesn't work, then you'll have to find somebody with some jumper cables. Got your fan switch here, and you got the ICC lights that are just kind of flashing lights in case you need to be seen. Your auto levels right here, power gear, power level series. To get your levels, to get your jacks down, most places are going to be pretty level, but we would prefer that you use them. So when you get there, before you run your rooms out, you're going to turn this to on, and then you're going to hit auto, and you wait about 4 or 5 minutes and it'll automatically raise the RV and level it. Once it's down, there should be a green light that comes on in the center here, and you're done. Then you can let your rooms out. When you do let the rooms out, make sure that no one is sitting on the couch, on the tables, and the beds, because you don't want to put any undue pressure on any of your slide outs. When you get ready to leave, run your slides back in, then let your jacks down. Okay? There is an order, and make sure you follow the order. Lights, USB plug, brake right here. Got your drink holder, tilt wheel, cruise control, fuel, all the regular stuff. You have a radio here. So if your engine is off, all of a sudden your radio's died. But once you get to where you're going, if you want to listen to the music, you turn it to park, and then the radio has power now. Now this can be one of those things that'll get you in trouble as far as draining your engine down. If you let this go full time and it drains your battery, it drains your battery down, then that's when you'll have to either plug in at the campsite to get that trickle charge back over to your engine, or you'll have to use the auxiliary start button. So we'll go ahead and turn that off. You have a generator off switch, on switch here, so if you wanted to turn your generator on, hold that button for about 8 or 9 seconds, and then you hold the on button and it'll automatically start it up. You have your utility light. You got one here, and then there's another switch over here for the map light right there. And where's that utility light? Anyway, there's a utility light. Air conditioning controls are all right here. Okay, these little push buttons. Above my head you have a TV. This TV is for the bunk person, not for the driver to watch TV. Okay, that's very dangerous. Do not watch TV while you are driving. If you need to open these, they slide back and forth. And there's some components, some TV components inside there. Alright. This Euro loft bed goes down like so. Just make sure your lights are off. Goes down pretty fast. Nice and smooth, okay? As you can see, it stopped right above the line here. We have a ladder that is on the bunk that you can use to connect to here. And this is a little thin. It's kind of about almost 2 inches thick. So if you feel like you need to bring something else, please feel free. Otherwise, don't use this. Don't use anything else on there because it'll smash it when it goes back up to the roof. You see there's a couple air conditioning vents right here and some storage space on the sides. Back up. I'm going to turn some lights on. And shut the door since it's going to start raining. Okay, above my head, so you have the Euro bed lift there. You have your thermostat here. This does not come off the wall. It does look like it may, but it doesn't, so you'll just have to operate it from here. Your zones, zone 1 and zone 2. Those are your air conditioning 1 and air conditioning 2. You want to turn them on, you can hit the mode button. There we go. Heat, system off, cool, heat off. Let's see here. So you have to turn it to a specific zone and then turn it to whichever you want, cool or heat first, and then do the mode. Auto, fan, high, low. And what you want to do is you want to have it in auto and cool. Alright, that'd be zone 2. Try and do this really fast so it doesn't turn on because we don't have enough amperage outside to actually run it. Okay? If you have any questions about that, please ask when you do get here. Over here. Let's see here. Alright, should cut that off. So off, off. Alright, then over here we have water heater, you have your electric choice and your propane choice. So what you're going to do is, this is going to be for propane. Now you have a tankless water heater that I spoke of earlier that sits outside. This turns it on, but there's a dial over here under the TV that you're going to leave in the second one. If you put it in eco, that's fine, but just try to use the one above the off. Alright, so if for some reason you turn that one on over there and you turn on your hot water and you get nothing, perhaps somebody has turned it off. So just be aware that that dial is right there. Electric is supposed to be for if you are at a campsite, you're plugged in, you don't want to use propane, you can turn this off and then turn that on, and that'll give you hot water also. If you want to check your levels, your fresh water tank, see it's full. As you start to use water, it'll start to drop. So right now, because the RV is shaking, it may toggle between full and 2/3. But as it gets empty, it'll actually show E. Your LP tank, it says it's on half. The gray waste tank is on a third, and then your black tank is empty. Now when you come pick up, all of these two this black and the gray should both read empty. Propane should be about a half or more, and then the freshwater tank is going to say full. Over here, this is if you were dry camping and you needed your generator to come on at specific times so that you don't run out of power. This is very difficult to actually program, so if you really need to use this, it's easy. Just kind of look up the Cummins ONAN generator energy command, and it'll show you some instructions on how to program that out. This is for your inverter. This is what's going to run your refrigerator while you're driving down the street. So as your alternator is charging up the batteries are also going to invert and send 120 volts to that refrigerator over there because it is a house refrigerator. So just make sure that it is inverting and you have power right here. Aside from that, there really isn't too much more to it. Okay, just make sure this is on. You also have another room slide out. That's for the same slide behind us right here with the couch and the dining table. You can run it in and out. If you don't engage the parking brake, it won't work, and you also have to start and run your coach. Okay, in and out. Above my head here we have the antenna. This little off-on switch right here. You need to make sure that you have that on to get local channels for your digital antenna to work. If you need to tweak your reception, you pinch it here and twist and turn. Doesn't matter how you leave that. It sits stationary and just spins on the roof. Over here for our couch, you can convert this into a bed. Take your cushions off. Lift up on this. Lower this leg, lower this leg. Drop it down. Now you have a bed. Put your sheets across this, and you know what to do. Okay, to convert this to a bed is not that hard, but I will say that this table is very heavy. Probably weighs about 35 pounds, so you may need 2 people to take it off. And the way that you do that is you raise it up slightly. There's a little button that you push under here to raise this. It locks into place, and then you continue to raise it to about this height, to about right here, and then the table just comes off the wall. Okay? So after you take the table off the wall, you can either slide it on the floor or you can put it wherever you want to. However, once you do that, to convert this to a bed, pull down on this lever and you push this until it lays flat. Then you do the same thing with the other side, and it'll make the whole bed whole. Now on the back side here, we have this pulled down because if this is not pulled down like this, then when this thing slides down, it's going to drag it anyway. So just leave this like this, or if you find that someone has put this back up, before you let this one down, go ahead and pull this Velcro back and just pull that down there. Otherwise, you may tear it. Lift it back up, it's the same. You have drawers underneath. Just pull drawers like that, and you also have seat belts underneath. The TV does not move, swivel, or turn. It just stays right where it is. So please don't pull on it. You have a whole bunch of remote controls here. You got your furnace, your fireplace. It has the heat option or not. We just have it on. So you can use the remote control to turn it off, or you can manually turn it off there. On this side over here we have storage, standard kitchen appliance things, hot water, microwave. You have power system monitors here. It just kind of toggles you through what kind of power you have. If you don't really need to know, then there's really no need for you to mess with this. Otherwise, it's just for information purposes. You got your circuit breakers here. Okay. If for some reason one of them something trips, this is where you could also look. You're going to turn it all the way off and then turn it on if you see one of these in the mid position. To light your stove, you're going to pick the eye that you want here and hit the spark button. Okay? These are real countertops, so make sure you treat them gently. As you can see, someone used this as a cutting board and damaged it. So please do not use this as a cutting board. Bring your own.